Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
Hello, LumioseStation. Pokemon64ism here, and today I'm bringing you a Wonder Cup battle. The way these Wonder Cup battles work is that you catch 6 random Pokemon, you Wonder Trade them, and then you use the Pokemon you get in return. So, this is against my friend Jack. His channel will be in the description below. And why don't we get this battle started? So, Jack is out here, and yes, sees Pokemon. I decide to send out my Larvitar, which you'll see it's actually pretty useful later in the battle. Now he goes for the transform into my Larvitar, since my Larvitar has Stealth Rocks, but he doesn't decide to use Stealth Rock immediately. Instead, he just decides to go, I believe, for a bite. We'll have to see. Anyways, I go for Nidorino, because Nidorino has Double Kick, so that will do a good amount of damage. He goes for Ancient Power, and it's not that good because it's a special attack, so I'll be pretty fine with that. Now, Double Kick does a pretty good, I'd say 60%, 60-70%. And now he finally decides to go for the Stealth Rocks. So he knows his Larvitar won't survive another hit, so that's all he can do. He goes for the Machop, because the Machop has Ice Punch, and I don't think Nidorino is a ground type, but he must have thought that because Nidoking is a ground type. So he's like, oh, I have Ice Punch, so why don't I try that? But that actually screws him over later in the battle, and I actually get a crit. And he goes for the Ice Punch, and luckily he does not get the freeze, but my Poison Point pops. And guess what? He's poisoned now, and he's gonna slowly lose some HP, so that's really good for me. Now he goes for the Fury attack. Actually, no, I do, sorry. And it hits 3, 4, 5 times, so that's actually really good for me. Things are looking really well in my favor. He's going for the Ice Punch, but, Nidorino's a tank, so you can take it. Boom shakalaka. And so Machop's down, poor little Machop. That's okay. Now his Fletchling is just going to lose some of his HP, which is kind of sad, because of the Stealth Rocks. Well, most of my Pokemon resist the Stealth Rocks, so that's pretty good. At this point, Nidorino was kind of just like useless now, because he only had 2 HP. So, there's no way he could actually do anything. So I decided to go to my Rhyhorn. The reason why I do that, because this Rhyhorn is actually a breeded Rhyhorn and has Ice Fang. So that can be really good. Right? He predicts the switch, or predicts the move rather, sorry. And he decides to go for his Bibarel. And so that's going to resist it, but I know his Bibarel, I think it has Water Gun. So I'm going to have to switch out to a Pokemon that can resist that. And that is, well, Gibble. Gibble can take a few moves. But the main point of this Gibble, I'm gonna name Skibble Bible, because it's kind of spelled like that. But turns out this guy has Ice Fang, which is pretty good. That's useful. And I wasn't actually watching, so I didn't notice it. But then after, I was like, oh, yeah, my Gibble only has 11 HP, I better do something. So I go over the Sandstorm, so since all of my Pokemon can resist Sandstorm, because they're all like Steel, Rock, and Ground, it's actually pretty cool. I decided to go for Mawile. Now this Mawile isn't Mega, so it's not going to help that much, but it does. Most of these Pokemon were level 1, so I assume they had like really good IVs. So this Mawile, all it can really do is Fairy Wind. He's going to go for the rollout, hoping to make a combo. But it's not going to be too useful since I can resist that. So I go for the Fairy Wind, and he's just going to slowly die. And so, luckily his combo ends, because rollout can be pretty deadly once you get the combo going, and you're just rolling past me, and you roll me over like a car. Cause I came in like a rollout ball. Anyways, he's gonna send out the Honedge. He knows that I keep on using Fairy Wind, and so he can resist that. Now, I probably should have stayed in and started using Astonish, but I just decided to go for, Larvitar. And that was actually a bit of a silly move on my part, but I assumed his Honedge didn't have a Steel-type move, so that's kind of fine. Plus, Larvitar gets Stab Bite, and now in Gen 6, Steel lost its resistance to Dark. Plus, it flinched. So, Larvicar, no, I keep on pronouncing things wrong, sorry about that. I actually got 2 flinches, which is extremely hacked. It's hacks to the max. And so Larvitar is going to do an easy KO on one of his bigger threats, actually. He's going to go for his Froakie, and at this point I was like, oh my god, he's going to use, like, Water Pulse, and it's going to kill me. I was actually kind of wrong, because all he knows is Pound and Growl, and we all know how powerful Pound and Growl is. It's not that powerful, but for some reason he has Protein, so that's actually going to give him a tiny boost, but Mawile can take hits for days, so he's going to keep on going and going, and I'm just going to get into the old habit of using Fairy Wind as much as I can, and it's going to be a pretty slow battle from here. So we just have normal Fairy Wind. You say Fairy Wind, I say Pound. I say Pound, you say Fairy Wind. Yay! So, luckily Fairy Wind eventually KOs the Froakie. It wasn't really a threat, but it's a Pokemon anyways, so I have to knock something out. And now he's gonna go for the Ditto, but luckily the Stealth Rocks helps a bit. So he's gonna be a Mawile. I go for the Astonish because I know he's gonna be a Mawile. Turns out Fairy Wind would actually do more, which is a bit surprising, but I guess it is Stab and the stronger move, so you can't really expect too much. So his Fairy Wind is going to do a lot more than me, but luckily I actually got faster the next turn, which is kind of cool. So I knock him out. Now Fletchling is just going to come out, and guess what? It hasn't even, it's barely done anything this fight. It hasn't even taken a hit from any of my Pokemon. It's already lost half of HP because of Stealth Rock. So take that, and I'm just going to Fairy Wind. And, you know, by the end of this, you're in the routine of Liam keeps on using Fairy Wind, and use it to win. So there we go, GG. But I also believe he has one more Pokemon, and that would be his Bibarel. And obviously it's not going to be too much, because Stealth Rocks actually helped. But his Hyper Fang will knock me out, because Hyper Fang is a pretty strong move. And I just loved Hyper Fang back in first gen, because, you know, you had Rattata, you could do that. But, you know, I feel like being a dick, just showing him all my Pokemon, I'm like, hey, but his Stealth Rocks will actually not help me. But then I just decided to use my last Pokemon I haven't really shown, and that's Klefki. So Klefki is just gonna, you know, my keychain. I take my keychain and I make it tackle the beaver. I guess the beaver is pretty suitable because we're both Canadian. But anyways, there's the battle. It was an easy 3-0 win. I probably could have made it 5-0, but I just decided to be classy. So thank you for watching this battle. Make sure to subscribe to LumioseStation for more battles, Let's Plays, and more. And make sure you check out my channel for Let's Plays and such. Thank you!